Hello, lovely people. I have a fun little read for you today. This Alice in Wonderland deck, as you know, that's what I use to read for Meghan Markle. And for the longest time, I didn't do any readings on children, but these cards have let me know that I can use these cards to read on Prince George. So the topic is, who did it better? And what I'm talking about is, you know, Meghan Markle's famous "When I Was 11" story. Well, I read Prince George at 11 has started flying lessons. So who told it better? When I was 11. Let's see. Woohoo! Meghan Markle's energy around this. What does she think of it? She's always in her imagination, and it's all conception, it's all made up. A lot of the story around her great soap commercial story, you know, when she changed the wording, blah, 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 a lot of that's been debunked. Apparently it was a class project, not her individually who got them to change that soap commercial. And apparently thousands of kids across the country wrote in, and when somebody made a request from Procter & Gamble to find out what had happened, they didn't have any record of her writing to them. Maybe they binned all the letters from all the kids. Who in the world are you? Who does Prince George think he is to have a better 11-year-old story than I do? And it is very sad that a woman in her 40s, her greatest claim to fame is what she did when she was 11. Has she not moved on from that? There's an egg, looks like an egg, and it's cracked, and there's something coming out, something a little unpleasant. Maybe it's a dragon or a snake. Yeah, negative energy around the story. And yet she told it again in Colombia, and apparently, what I heard was she was very unhappy that the reporter that she took with her didn't include the story in their report of what had happened that day. But somebody else who was there mentioned that this is what she had said. Oh, look at it. Look at it. Impossible things. Imaginative leaps. So this is her in her little dream world, making up stories, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Obviously, I'm only reading the energy of the cards. I'm not stating truth or fact. So here she is, living in her dream world, having to make up fantasies of flying horses and little dragons and butterflies with hearts and soap dish commercials that she managed to change. So everybody now can see through the story. It's been debunked in multiple places. So she still wants to be seen in that light. But really, what people really see is this bitter middle-aged woman who can't get past what happened to her when she was 11. I wonder if she keeps saying that because of what happened to Harry when he was 11. Didn't his mum pass away when he was 11? Maybe that's why 11 is so significant for her. Or maybe that was 12. He was 12. 12 going on 13, around that age. Could be. Could be. Right, Prince George. Prince George. What about his 11-year-old story? Oh, look at that. This letter flying up into the air, flying as he takes his flying lessons. Send a letter to the universe, it says. The world loves me. And isn't this reminiscent of the video that Princess Catherine put out with all of them walking through the forest and all those flowers and all the beauty and all the prettiness? Prince George, Prince George. At 11. Oh, there he is. There he is in that forest with his family. The wishing tree. My wishes grow big like a tree. But you know what? He's prepared to work for what he wants. He's prepared to work for that pilot's license. And he knows that he can have dreams and wishes and aspirations, and his family will support him, but he's the one who needs to take the action to get that pilot's license. Because remember, even though Harry accepted that Legends of Aviation award, he's not actually a pilot. Because he couldn't pass the test, so he became a gunner. Unlike his brother, his father, his grandfather, all of them are pilots, just not Harry. But George, he's prepared to work for what he wants. He's prepared to work to get that pilot's license. What else? Candle magic. Every day things get better. Every day things get better. So I'm getting from this that he's going to do so many great things in his life, this little kid, that starting flying lessons at 11 is going to be almost inconsequential in the story of his life. And look at that. There's his dad. There's his mum. There's George. There's Charlotte. There's Louis. Look at that. A whole family. And they've each got their own separate lives, their own separate identities, their own separate light that they shine out into the world, the goodness that they send out into the world. They're a cohesive unit, but they each have their own magic. Now we're just going to look at the underlying for each of them. Well, let's look at Meghan first. There she is with her flowing locks, and this always reminds me of Princess Catherine in the garden when she was talking about her cancer with all the flowers behind her. And this to me is Meghan trying to be more like Princess Catherine, really not being her own person. And isn't that interesting that I just got in the energy of this card that each member of that family, they each have their own interests, their own ideas, their own fields of endeavour, their own identities. And here comes Meghan trying to mirror one of theirs. And so underlying for Prince George, bubble power. My wishes float easily out into the world. So Meghan's going to think it's so unfair. That kid, he doesn't have to do anything. And people are just fawning over him, and good fortune and fame comes easily to him. Well, no, he's got a lot of responsibility in his future, and he's prepared to work for what he wants. So he sends his wishes out into the world to make them reality, but he also puts the hard work behind it. So there you go, people. Definitely Prince George wins this one. Prince George tells it better at 11, but at 11, once he's older, he's going to have so many more accomplishments that starting flying lessons at 11 is not even going to be an issue. It's not going to be his main story that he tells. Put it that way. What do you think? What do you think of this read? Please like if you do, and subscribe if you haven't. It really helps out the channel. And leave your comments, because your comments make an interesting dialogue. Wishing you love and blessings, and I hope the angels walk with you wherever you go today.